thank you very much for inviting me. And first of all, what I'd like you to do is just close your eyes and take a couple of breaths. Feel your feet on the floor, centre yourselves, and think about where you'd like to be in a year's time. So that settle with yourself for a moment. Okay. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So as Gay mentioned, I did grow up in New South Wales. Grew up in a town called Broken Hill in the outback. So if you're familiar with the South Australian border, pretty much right on the South Australian border of New South Wales. So quite isolated, and like many of us here, I grew up in the days before the internet really happened. So that created a higher level of isolation. I have two sisters, and the elder one of those is also vision impaired and grew up legally blind as well. There's quite an age gap between us, and so she's 13 years older, and then the next sister was born 7 years later. That sister does not have a vision impairment, which confused my parents a little bit, thinking medical research wasn't so great back in the 70s and 60s, and so they weren't quite sure what had happened with my older sister and where the vision impairment had come from. And then later on I came along and they straight away realised that I was experiencing some of the same issues they'd seen develop with my older sister.